Hi there. I wanted to talk a little bit about Toulmin's model of argument, and in particular provide an example. This example comes from a discussion that I had recently with someone about healthcare in the United States. This is a topic that interests me a lot because I've had to deal with the healthcare system recently. It's a good context to illustrate the points of Toulmin's model of argument. So Toulmin's model of argument says that you begin with a claim, you provide reasons for that claim based on logic, and then you support those reasons with evidence, which measurements or data, statistics. But then you have to qualify your claim, meaning that you provide boundaries for how far that claim extends, and then reservations where you realize that there may be conditions that undermine your claim that you have to think about in a totality. Claim that I would say, I was having this discussion with someone, they wouldn't quite engage, but I'll show you the way that I would argue their side of the argument. They said that the U.S. healthcare system is the best in the world. So that's the claim. I didn't find their argument persuasive at all, but the way I would argue this is the following. I would say that's the claim. U.S. healthcare system is the best in the world. Why is that logically the case? Well, we have the best doctors in the world. So that would be one reason for why the claim is true, right? That's a logic. We have the best doctors, so that's the best healthcare system. And then you can find evidence for that. There's you could look for databases to support the doctor claim. You could look for stories, but there's a lot of stories about how people actually come to the United States for their health care from other countries so that they can see a specialist. And that's very true. There's many stories out there like that. So that would be evidence that supports the reasons that support the claim. Okay? I think that's fairly straightforward. What might not be clear is the qualifiers and reservations. Qualifiers, as I said before, are putting boundaries around the claim. So this is where I was having an issue discussing this with someone about how the U.S. healthcare system is the best in the world. And what I was trying to come to an agreement was on bounding that claim, and then we could agree on something. The boundary or the qualifier that I would say is the U.S. healthcare system is the best in the world if you have quite a bit of money. So like if you have great healthcare insurance and you have money, and you can, especially if you're very rich, this is the best place in the world to go, right? We have great specialists. Right? So that would be my qualifier. So I'm putting a boundary. That claim is true, the best healthcare system in the world, if you are wealthy, right? Or if you have great insurance, right? So that would be a qualifier to the claim. And then a reservation is something that it questions maybe the assumptions of the claim. And so one of the assumptions of the claim is that we're thinking of healthcare, judging healthcare based on fixing problems, right? So my reservation is, well, it's the best healthcare system in the world if you are thinking that healthcare has to do with fixing problems. But if you have a different definition of the purpose of healthcare, for example, preventing problems, then maybe the U.S. healthcare system is not the best in the world. So that's a reservation. So claims, reasons, evidence. So the claim, best healthcare system in the world. Reasons, we have the best doctors. Evidence, people come from all over the world to see these doctors, right? Qualifiers, this is the best healthcare system if you have a lot of money or great insurance. And the reservation is, this is all based on the assumption that we're thinking of healthcare as fixing problems. But if we're thinking about prevention, maybe these reasons and evidence don't apply anymore. So that's the explanation of the Toulmin's model of argument. I hope you can use it. I hope you could see from building up this model of argument is actually useful, not just in bludgeoning your opponent over the head, making them agree with you, but it's actually a place that you can find points of agreement where the qualifiers can help you to say, okay, in this point we do agree. And that's actually really helpful, not just in your business plan, but in the rest of your life. Thanks.